Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Today we present you 50 beautiful retro historical photos. We hope you will appreciate our work. Write your comment and click the subscribe button. Enjoy the show, and here we go. Tracy Elvick 1987 photo shoot in the billiard room. Washington, D.C. Roxy Stinson, figure in Teapot Dome scandal, has her fortune told, March 27, 24. Circa 1896. Ship's company USS Maine. 2 years before the battleship blew up and sank in Havana Harbor, killing most of the crew. San Francisco circa 1927. Graham Brothers truck with stake bed body. Washington, D.C. Billy Denham, September 5, 22. Competitive cyclist both motor and bi. New York, 1931. Citibank Farmers Trust Building, William Beaver Streets. Cross Architects. San Francisco circa 1941. Restaurant counter. And another shot of the Buckley Music System. Music box. June 7, 1943. Restaurant Soda, Fountain, Sausalito, California. San Francisco circa 1922. Simplex Public Library. Circa 1906. 4th Avenue, Louisville, Kentucky. August 2, 1899. Sloop Columbia, steel mast carried away. Montgomery County, Maryland, 1925. Fortune teller Glen Echo Park Company. Washington, D.C., 1919. The Brighton, 2123 California Street. Washington, D.C., circa 1919. Children's Hospital. August 1927. Winchester, Virginia. Boy on elephant. August 27, 1927. Raymond Ruddy, 15-year-old New York Athletic Club swimmer who won the race on the Potomac, with members of the victorious team. Jewett touring car. Somewhere in Northern California, sometime in 1922. August 1912. Roxbury, Massachusetts. Homework on tags. Home of Martin Gibbons, 268 Center Street. James 11 years old, Helen 9 years, and Mary 6 work on tags. San Francisco circa 1918. Peerless truck. On Sunday, December 24, 1967, the old Carmel Canning Company on Cannery Row caught fire and burned for more than 4 hours. Kodachrome slide taken by my dad while we were in Pacific Grove for the Christmas holiday. May 1937. Children from Chickasaw, Oklahoma, in a potato pickers camp near Shafter, California. November 1938. Migrant cotton pickers' children who live in a tent in the government camp instead of along the highway or in a ditched bank. Shafter Camp, California. November 1938. Home of rural rehabilitation client, Tulare County, California. They bought 20 acres of raw unimproved land with a first payment of $50, which was money saved out of relief budget. Loading steamer Chalmette during high water, March 23, 1903, New Orleans. New York circa 1910. The Curb Market, Broad Street. March 1943. Isleta, New Mexico. The Santa Fe Depot. Horizontal arms on pole indicate a red beard. That is, a message is to be picked up by the train crew. New York circa 1921. Frank Craven. Actor, director, playwright, producer, stage manager. Beautiful retro photo shoot by Rosa Domail, 1966. San Francisco circa 1919. Bus is all it says. 1902. Rima's Loco winning 5 miles event in 10:51 4-5, Grosse Pointe Track, Detroit. Wildwood, New Jersey, circa 1907. Hotel Seaside. June 1942. Greenbelt, Maryland. Sunbathers at the swimming pool. August 1943. Arden, New York. Rest period at Camp Gaylord White, where children are aided by the Methodist Camp Service. Washington, D.C., 1922. Children playing in sand. (1913). Witter-Vaught's family, Arkansas. Circa 1910. Rockefeller Building in Superior Avenue, Cleveland, O. San Francisco, circa 1928. Auburn Sedan. Alda, May 1921. The Australian soprano and frequent Caruso collaborator Frances Alda's shipboard in New York. December 1908. Newton, North Carolina. Catawba Cotton Mill, Duffer and Spooler. Circa 1927. Old Stone Bakery, Falmouth, Stafford County, Virginia. March 1943. Barstow, California. Railroad worker in the washroom of the reading room in the Santa Fe Yard. New York, circa 1921. Boris Anisfeld, the Russian-born painter and set designer. Somewhere in San Francisco, circa 1920. Oakland Touring Car. circa 1908. New Pennsylvania Union Station, Washington, D.C. New Orleans circa 1910. Maison Blanche, Canal Street. August 24, 1964. Atlantic City, New Jersey. View of delegates and stage with large pictures of John F. Kennedy, Harry Truman, Franklin D. Roosevelt and Lyndon B. Johnson with the slogan "Let us continue" at the 1964 Democratic National Convention. November 1942. New York. Nurse training. Hospital preparations for air raids involved the training of street accident units for increased efficiency. San Francisco circa 1920. Grant 6 touring cars after unloading. Bonus photo for you, a beautiful retro woman. Hottie Samantha Fox, 1985 photo shoot. Beautiful Teeny Cancino, hockey court photo shoot 1978. Jane Mansfield's beautiful 1959 photo shoot. August 1923. Washington, D.C. Dump story. Washington, D.C. Girls at Potomac Tidal Basin Bathing Beach Pavilion, May 28, 23. (1963). George Jenkins, founder of the Publix supermarket chain, with his family at their home in Lakeland, Florida. November 12, 1920. Washington, D.C. 14 persons injured in crash of 3 cars. Wreck at 9th and F streets when brakes fail to work endangers many others. Policemen leap to safety. More than 2,000 citizens delayed an hour in getting home. May 1921. Washington, D.C. Charles Seeger, a composer, is a brother of Alan Seeger, the war poet. His wife is a distinguished violinist. Washington, D.C., circa 1920. People's Drug Store, 15th Street, New York Avenue, NW. January 1943. Freight operations on the Indiana Harbor Belt Railroad between Chicago and Hammond, Indiana. Getting his waybills, conductor Cunningham telephones his yardmaster with the number of cars he has to handle and where the delivery is to be made. May 1943. Clinton, Iowa. Women wipers of the Chicago Northwestern cleaning one of the giant freight locomotives. San Francisco. Maxwell, 1919, is all it says here. (1963). George Jenkins, founder of the Publix supermarket chain, at store in Lakeland, Florida. Detroit circa 1899. Detroit NE from Chamber of Commerce. February 1943. Daytona Beach, Florida, street scene. November 1938. Shafter, California. During the cotton strike, the father, a striking picker, has left his wife and child in the car while he applies to the Farm Security Administration for an emergency food grant. September 26, 1922. Washington, D.C. Virginia Avenue Playgrounds. Circa 1904. Depot at Braidwood, Illinois. January 1937. Children of migrant citrus worker who lives in a rundown apartment house. The sink at the head of the stairs is the only running water in the house. Winter Haven, Florida. March 1936. One-room house on Collins Forest and Game Reservation between the Tennessee and Cumberland Rivers in Kentucky. May 1936. Sharecropper's family in Mississippi County, Missouri. Typical sharecropper shack with crop entirely surrounding house. New York, 1904. Goat carriages in Central Park. San Francisco circa 1920. Grand Touring Car. (1924) Washington, D.C. Rock Creek Park. Miss Catherine Wren and Norval Munford. Washington, D.C., 1924. The latest in electric baseball scoreboards. George Coleman, inventor, is shown with the mechanism of the new scoreboard. February 1923. Miss Jacqueline Mansfield. Washington, D.C., circa 1940. Star Parking Plaza, 10th and East Streets, NW. This motor-age landmark with Art Deco. January 26, 1937. Fort Belvoir troops proceed to flood area. Washington, D.C., 1940. Daughters of the American Revolution reception. J. Edgar Hoover, Federal Bureau of Investigation Director, greets Mrs. Henry M. Robert Jr., President General of the DR. American model and beauty queen, June Cochran. Photo 1963. Atlantic City, New Jersey, circa 1905. A lifesaver on the lookout. Circa 1910 surf bathers, somewhere in New England. Circa 1906. Custom House and Post Office, Memphis, Tennessee. (1917) Torpedo Shop, Washington Navy Yard. November 1938. Family of rural rehabilitation client. Tulare County, California. Husband also works about 10 days a month outside the farm. Is 26 years old. Wife 22, 3 small children. Been in California 5 years. San Francisco, 1921. California Street east from Montgomery. November 1942. Babies Hospital, New York. Nurse training. Through classes in pediatrics, student nurses learn how the right toys can be almost as important as medicine and diet in getting a sick child well. Circa 1907. 4th Street, Cincinnati, Ohio. Cincinnati again circa 1907. 4th Street west from Maine. August 10th, 1952. Art Frandl and Stephen Lee, 10 months. December 1960. Interior barber shop. Republic Building, 209 South State Street, Chicago. Architects, Hollywood Roche. Completed 1905, demolished 1961. August 1942. And so he says to me, sailor mechanics at the Naval Air Base in Corpus Christi, Texas, laugh heartily over a good story between servicing operations on Navy planes. San Francisco, 1928. Auburn Phaeton sedan. San Francisco, 1928. Auburn Phaeton sedan. Minneapolis circa 1910. Hotel Radisson and 7th Street. April 1926. Washington, D.C. Ms. Louise Thorne of the National Academy of Sciences holding a plant growing in an airtight bulb. Washington, D.C., 1919. Police coffee. Washington, D.C., 1919. Police coffee. Washington, D.C. Tech High Football, 1919. November 16, 1923. Washington, D.C. Shura Cherkasky, Father Isaac, Mother Lydia. Bonus photo for you, a beautiful retro woman. Enchanting Natalie Banas, 1989. Cute model Samantha Fox 1984. Stunning model Natalie Banas, street photo shoot 1989. The Mississippi River circa 1908. Steamboat landing in Union Station at St. Paul, Minnesota. July 13, 1964. San Francisco. Republican National Convention. Governor Mark Hatfield of Oregon delivering keynote address at Cow Palace. July 12, 1964. Ku Klux Klan members supporting Barry Goldwater's campaign for the presidential nomination at the Republican National Convention, San Francisco, California, as an African American man pushes signs back. March 28, 1938. Telegraphic protests against merger bill flood U.S. Senate. Extra messengers were needed today to deliver the thousands of telegrams protesting against the government reorganization bill. Circa 1928. Mrs. Ellis's store, Falmouth, Stafford County, Virginia. May 1, 1959. Downtown San Francisco, California Street, East Bay Vista from Nob Hill. New York, 1914. Charlie White. Chicago lightweight born 1892 in Liverpool. Retired from the ring in 1925. New York circa 1908. Broadway at Times Square Hotel Astor and Astor Theater. San Francisco circa 1924. Donnelly Cadillac Agency Any Corner Van Ness O'Farrell. Looking up Fremont Street in Las Vegas from South 2nd toward the Fremont Casino Carnival Room around Christmas 1958. A 1960 parade welcoming Republican vice presidential candidate Henry Cabot Lodge Jr. to Danville, Illinois. New York circa 1913. Park Avenue and Vanderbilt Hotel, south from 36th Street. Detroit circa 1901. Groove Ferry Excursion Steamer Pleasure at Belle Isle Ferry Dock, Woodward Avenue. Greene County, New York, circa 1902. Palinville Hotel, Catskill Mountains. Buffalo, New York, circa 1900. Tift House, Main Street. Demolished 1902. Washington, D.C., 1920. Tidal Basin Bathing Beach, Tom Miller, 1912, Irving Street Northeast. New York, circa 1922. Paul Specht Band. Circa 1907. North Adams, Massachusetts. Main Street, looking west. San Francisco, 1931. Auburn at Golden Gate Park. November 1942. Babies Hospital, New York. Nurse training. At the ping pong table in the game room, Susan Petty, student nurse, enjoys a bit of relaxation after a busy day's work in the wards. Union Square, San Francisco, looking north up Powell Street, circa 1958. I believe my parents were in America at the time. July 1943. Washington, D.C. Waiting for the parade to recruit civilian defense volunteers. Entertaining themselves with the handheld device known as a newspaper. New York, circa 1922. Paul Specht Orchestra, Hotel Astor Roof Garden. March 14, 1925. New York. Isabella Foster, soprano. San Francisco. Door Touring Car, 1921. October 1922. New York. Cop is all it says on this glass negative depicting. A photo of the beautiful Rosa Domail 1964. Washington, D.C., circa 1921. National Benefit Life Insurance, Interior. July 12, 1922. New York. The soprano and vocal coach Estelle Liebling, instructor of Beverly Sills and a young Meryl Streep. May 1943. San Francisco, California. The Bank of America. (1952) Pine Street at Montgomery, San Francisco. From circa 1924 San Francisco comes this modishly draped miss descending from her sedan. San Francisco, 1952. Fairmont and Mark Hopkins Hotels. New Haven, Connecticut, circa 1902. Banquet in Alumni Hall, University Commons, Yale College. Hampton Roads, Virginia, circa 1895. Hygeia Hotel, Old Point Comfort. July 1943. Washington, D.C. Spectators at the parade to recruit civilian defense volunteers. July 1943. Washington, D.C. A man selling flags and buttons at the parade to recruit civilian defense volunteers. February 1943. Daytona Beach, Florida. Street scene. Howard's Chicken Shack. We're going to phone 9363 and see if they can deliver to 2023. July 1943. Washington, D.C. Spectators at Office of Civilian Defense parade to recruit civilian defense volunteers. February 1943. Daytona Beach, Florida. Sunday morning street scene in Midway. McGill's Fish Market and Fan Lunchroom, Pine Street and 2nd Avenue. June 23, 1964. Ford Showroom in Wheaton, Maryland. Boston circa 1890s. Jamaica Pond Ice Company delivery wagon. San Francisco, 1925. Buick touring car from rear. The Jersey Shore circa 1901. The beach at Asbury Park. July 1959. Detroit's 1960 look. Sneak preview of the new models. Oakland, California, circa 1918. Orchard Tractor Demonstration. Fagel Motors Company walking tractor. Delaware County, New York, circa 1902. Ulster, Delaware RR Station, Fleischmann's, Catskill Mountains. Bonus photo for you, a beautiful retro woman. Charming Maria Whitaker, 1988 photo shoot. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Today we present you 50 beautiful retro historical photos. We hope you will appreciate our work. Write your comment and click the subscribe button. Enjoy the show, and here we go. Stunning American personal trainer Kathy Smith 1973. Who would go to her for a workout? Shirley Enfield, English actress, appearing on stage, film and television since 1955. Photo 1959. San Francisco circa 1924. Hudson Super 6 touring car. Utica, New York, circa 1910. Hotel Utica. Playing next door at the Majestic. The Fortune Hunter. Circa 1902. Window and Girls Restaurant, National Cash Register Company, Dayton, Ohio. Columbus, Georgia, circa 1960. Portable TV. RCA Victor, Sportable TVs, the research department informs us. The set's so light, you can lift it with 3 hands. From circa 1950s Columbus, Georgia, comes this uncaptioned news archive negative of a young man and his dugout, evidently crafted in the basement. September 1938. Wife of unemployed coal miner, suffering from TB, with her mother and children. Family living in old company store. Abandoned mining town of Marine, West Virginia. San Francisco, 1931. Hudson sedan at Golden Gate Park. Perfect accessory for dark clothes or dark moods. November 23, 1935. Washington, D.C. Henry G. Slaughter. Ready for international bicycle ride. Supported by those interested in publicizing the Inter-American Highway. Detroit circa 1900. Smith Yendall Grocers. We're back in 1950s Oakland as we return to the scene of yet another accident. Hudson meets lamppost after being hit broadside. Detroit circa 1912. Elliott Taylor Wolfenden Company Millinery Department. Circa 1906. Beacon Street at Bowdoin, Ward 6, Boston, Massachusetts. Circa 1953. It's another day and another accident at 10453 Avenue X in Oakland, California. July 1943. Glen Echo, Maryland. Climbing the ladder to the sliding board at the Glen Echo swimming pool on a hot day. Washington, D.C., 1919. McCrory's 5 and 10 cent store, 7th Street NW. November 25, 1924. Washington, D.C. Orphans of Des Moines, Washington, at tourist camp. October 14, 1939. Hit that line, co-ed! Captain Alice Shanks, carrying football, running behind good interference as the young women from Western State College staged their annual Powder Bowl game on a mountain gridiron in Gunnison, Colorado. May 16, 1962. Television actor Andy Griffith at his summer home on Roanoke Island, N.C. San Francisco, 1929. Franklin sedan at Pioneer Park, Telegraph Hill. September 1942. New York, New York. Waiting for the 3rd Avenue Elevated Railway at East 89th Street about 8:45 a.m. September 1942. New York, New York. Looking west from the 17th Street station at the 3rd Avenue Elevated Railway as a train leaves on the local track. San Francisco circa 1924. Buick sedan at Lafayette Park Costumes. Chicago circa 1918. Michigan Avenue Blackstone Hotel and Grant Park. Oakland, California, circa 1957. Ambulance accident. Don't even ask what happened to the tow truck. April 1937. The Posey Building of Shawneetown, Illinois, in which Abraham Lincoln and Robert Ingersoll had law offices. The age-old battle of Ford versus Chevy, vintage 1957, played out under an expressway in San Francisco circa 1958. Sarah Young's cute photo shoot 1989. (1952). Photo for U.S. Information Agency propaganda poster titled "I Choose to Be a Miner," distributed in Asia. Poster includes photographs of coal miner Walter Ward and family in David, Kentucky. From 1910 San Francisco comes this young lady and her Zoftig Zeppelin. Columbus, Georgia, circa 1952. Radio Cab Company. A fleet of two-door taxis, Ford mainline Tudor sedans. September 1952. New York. Photos show people looking at fashion model Doris Irwin as she walks down Fifth Avenue, just passing Bergdorf Goodman. Rockefeller Center, New York, 1939. Radio City Buildings RCA. The skyscraper known as 30 Rock. June 9, 1865. Negro freedmen by Canal Group of Contrabands at Haxall's Mill, Richmond. San Francisco circa 1927. Cadillac and swimmers at Fleischhacker Pool. New York circa 1915. Police tuba players. Halt or we'll toot. (1904) Hotel Velvet, Old Orchard, Maine. The seaside resort and its ocean pier. Circa 1890s Boston, Massachusetts. Bird's eye view of Charlestown Bunker Hill Monument. San Francisco circa 1925. Auto at Twin Peaks North Peak seen from South Peak. Oakland, California, circa 1957. Ambulance accident. Our second look at this mashup of a 1940s Cadillac, and it can now be revealed Studebaker Land Cruiser. July 1937. Sharecropper boy near Chesney, South Carolina. Oscar winner Cloris Leachman with her son Adam England. April 27, 1954. Actress Cloris Leachman at home with husband and baby. San Francisco circa 1927. Cadillac touring car with Fleischhacker Swimming Club, with someone who's either their coach or their mechanic. June 1938. On Highway Number 1 of the OK State near Weber's Falls, Muskogee County, Oklahoma. 7 children and eldest son's family. Washington, D.C., circa 1922. Sport Mart, 1303 F Street, NW. The Glen Echo Amusement Park Funhouse in Maryland, circa 1925. San Francisco, April 1906. Memorial Church after earthquake. The chapel at Stanford University was eventually resurrected, but with significant alterations. Boston circa 1906. Mechanics Hall, Huntington Avenue. Demolished in 1959 to make way for Prudential Center. Bonus photo for you, a beautiful retro woman. Heather Locklear, American actress and producer, 6-time Golden Globe Award nominee. Photo 1981. Button. Enjoy the show, and here we go. Photo 1967. Enchanting actress Kathy Shower 1976. Oakland, California, circa 1955, and another crepuscular rendezvous of vehicular violence. Musical family The Osmonds. Specifically which Osmonds we leave up to you. Florida circa 1894. Hotel Royal Poinciana, Palm Beach. January 16, 1946. Edgar Bergen, Charlie McCarthy. San Francisco circa 1928. Nash Special 6 on Gough Street at Lafayette Park. September 22, 1951. New York City Housing Authority. Astoria Houses, Queens. Exterior, East River Park with children. Clark, Rapwan O'Halloran, Landscape Architects. February 1936. Children at the El Monte Subsistence Homesteads, California. April 18, 1925. Washington, D.C. Geo Washington High Interclass Track Meet at Central High. April 18, 1925. Washington, D.C. Geo Washington High Interclass Track Meet at Central High. New York circa 1903. Flatiron Building, 5th Avenue and Broadway. May 6, 1965. World's Fair, Flushing, Long Island. Robert Francis Vargo from Verplank, New York, with Madame Grace Sia Chu cooking Chinese spare ribs at Festival of Gas. San Francisco circa 1921. Marmon Duocal Landaulet at Spreckles Mansion. October 1935. Making cornbread with relief flour. Shenandoah National Park, Virginia. – Oakland, California, circa 1957, and a compacted Chrysler. We declare pole S1270 for the winner. Acapulco, 1961. James Coburn, Ralph Tager and three curvaceous castmates in Faux Mexico, from the very short-lived, 8 episodes, NBC TV series. February 1936. El Monte, California, Federal Subsistence Homesteads. Foreign family. 3-room house, $17.70 monthly rent to apply on purchase. Father's occupation, carpenter. Earns $70 a month. No date, no location, but I found a reference to an article with the same title from the Saturday Evening Post of January 16, 1954. September 8, 1943. Soprano Lucio Manners, NBC radio star, right wrong way to wrap packages for servicemen overseas. San Francisco circa 1915. Valley 4-passenger coupe at Golden Gate Park. Sunday, April 3, 1960. 9 p.m. NBC, Dinah Shore Show. Circa 1950, it's the latest installment of the exciting new reality series, Dental Office. From circa 1950 in Anytown, USA, we present Dental Office. New York circa 1905. Curling in Central Park. Citing the curling cue for a banked shot into the corner pocket. Circa 1907. Fountain Square, Cincinnati. Dry goods, dentists, and the Western Tray Factory. San Francisco circa 1920. Chalmers touring car on Van Ness Avenue. At F.J. Lynn's Motor Company, your Scripps booth dealer. With a streetcar squeezing by. San Francisco circa 1890s. California Street from Sansom Street. Actress Gail McKenna, charming photo shoot 1987. Little Rock, Arkansas, circa 1910. New Capitol Hotel, Markham Street. A century later, the building looks much the same, although it's lost the new. May 29, 1925. Central High Rifle Team. Rumor has it these girls are loaded. December 1941. Washington, D.C. Christmas shopping in Woolworth's 5 and 10-cent store record department. Chicago circa 1955. Elevator engineers. A job that has its ups and downs. Fresno, California, circa 1915. Auto tourists and fruit packing district. February 1953. Actress Esther Williams and cast of the film Easy to Love rehearsing and filming water skiing sequences at Cypress Gardens, Winter Haven, Florida. An interesting look at San Francisco car culture circa 1934. Ocean Beach Playland Red Bug and Cliff House on Great Highway. July 1943. Glen Echo, Maryland. Swimming pool in the Glen Echo Amusement Park, where most of the swimsuits aren't swimming. San Francisco circa 1922. Mrs. Maxwell and Chalmers. Carrying, or wearing, the banner for two car brands not long for this world, and whose assets would form the basis of the Chrysler Corporation. From August 4, 1954, we bring you what seems to be an editor in the tobacco-friendly newsroom of the Chicago Sun-Times, awaiting his ID from any fellow ink-stained wretches out there. October 7, 1952, at Old Matt's cabin. Hubert and Sally at the Shepherd of the Hills homestead, a farm in the Ozarks made famous by Harold Bell Wright's 1907 book. (1920s) San Francisco. Gilmore Gasoline Service Station, where you can fill up with gas or water. Who can tell us where this is? July 4, 1933. New York City. Empire State Building from 41st Street and 5th Avenue. Washington, D.C., circa 1920. People's Drug Store, Soda Fountain, 11th G Streets. Grace Donald, November 11, 1951. Grace Tuttle and her soldier son Donald Cartwright, along with her Dalmatian, Sally, exactly 64 years ago in Blue Earth, Minnesota. Al Jolson and Cadillac touring car at St. Francis Hotel, San Francisco, 1927. May 28, 1963. Liberty Mutual Life Insurance Company, 444 Merrick Road, Lynbrook, Long Island. First floor, south wall. Washington, D.C., circa 1919. Roy F. Carty Group, 1407 14th Street Northwest. For Motor Mayhem Monday, we're back in Oakland circa 1958, with a Ford punching above its weight. San Francisco, California, 1926. Market Street from Ferry Building. Bonus photo for you, a beautiful retro woman. Corina Russell, a former Page 3 Englishwoman, glamorous model and dancer of the 1980s. Photo shoot 1983.